my job is actually, I'm a youth organizer for the North Bay Organizing Project, and I coordinate a program called the Latino Student Congress. And essentially what that is I go around and I help different groups like the MedChat group here to develop themselves as an organization or as a club, and then I get them connected to a bunch of other clubs all over Sonoma County that are just like them, working on certain things like them, and we train in leadership development and in community organizing theory. So essentially what that means is if you know that certain things are messed up in the world, you know, and sometimes we know that they're messed up, but we don't know what to do about it, we have the tools so that you can do something about it, right? There is something that you can do about it. Nothing in this world stays the way it is. Everything is up for change, you know, and it's up to us to act and make that change happen. So that's my work now is making that change happen. So I'm very much involved in like local politics, you know, and politics doesn't just mean you have to be in a suit and up in like City Hall or whatever. It means like this, like talking with the people and exchanging ideas and getting organized to fight for things like, you know, rent control, you know, because a lot of us are experiencing rent increases, fight for things like ethnic studies in our high schools, free transit for students and stuff like that. And also before doing this, I spent a long time doing restorative justice work. I actually stopped. This week was my last week going out to the juvenile hall, the long-term unit, and working with young men up there to do some social emotional learning. And also at the school that I graduated from, at Amorosa, I go there and I do circle work so that we can develop the tools to deal with like trauma, you know, social trauma, historical trauma and stuff like that. And also so that when like wrongdoing happens, we're able to respond to it in a restorative way as opposed to like trying to blame and punish, you know. So I do a lot of that kind of stuff. And I'm also like I like to consider myself as a positive male role model for people out, you know, in our community. You know, and some of that has made that shift to, you know, living a life where I wasn't making the best decisions always, to you know, being self-reflective and being a positive force in the community. I didn't cross the border illegally. I had a visa, but I overstayed my visa, which is a different way of looking at immigration than we're normally taught to look at it, right? Everybody like thinks that maybe like you came through a river or you hopped a fence or some tunnel somewhere or something like that, but not everybody goes through it like that, right? And to be honest, I didn't know that we were going to a different country. I didn't realize that it was different. I was thought California. I live in Baja California. Is that the same thing? I don't know. But I do remember an experience when we first came. We had uncles and relatives that lived in Santa Rosa, and we were staying with them at first. And I remember we were walking down Range Avenue, if you know where that's at, going towards. It used to be a Lucky's. It's a Whole Foods now. But we were going to Lucky's, and I remember my mom explaining to me, she was trying to explain to me why I couldn't tell people that we were from Mexico. You know, she was trying to explain to me why, like, what it means to be undocumented, basically. But I couldn't understand what she was telling me. So she was telling me that there was people in the world that didn't want me here, right? That wanted to send us back to where we came from. And I remember thinking, like, what do you mean? There's people that don't like me before they meet me? Like they don't want me here, like on this sidewalk or something? Like, I couldn't understand what she was telling me, but, you know, it was my first, like, taste that, like, oh, you know, not everything in the world is fair or just. You know, at first it was because that's what my job required me to do. But even when I was transitioning out of that job for doing restorative justice work, I continued to do it for about a year, almost 2 years actually, just like as a like very, very part-time work. And the reason I did it is because the situation that the young men in there are in, I was there too. And you know, growing up a Latino male in California, we don't have a whole lot of role models to look up to. You know, whenever we see a Latino male in like on TV or on in a movie or something like that, we're usually the thug. You know, we're the criminal or something like that, right? You know, if you look up like Chicano hip hop on YouTube, you're gonna get like all this gangster stuff, right? Like all the Mr. Criminals and the Clica One and all that kind of stuff, right? And so I intentionally try to be the counterpoint to that, the duality, right? I very much believe in like in dualities and stuff. So for every yin, there's got to be a yang, right? And even though there is these figures that exist in our community, and you know, they're respected in their own regard, I feel like I can also be just as cool or just as respected, but walking a slightly different path. So sometimes just me being there and me challenging these young men around our worldview, I know it's going to pay off in the long run, because we're going to have young men that are looking at the world a little bit differently than they have. You know, we don't all have to you know, become that persona that gets packaged to us. We have to wear a low beanie and like, you know, Dickies and whatever. You know, we don't all have to do that. You know.
Hi, my name's Edith Lone.
Hi, my name is Karen Hernandez.
Hi, my name is Haley Wood.
Hi, I'm Lady Vasquez.
Hi, my name is Hector Castillo.
Hi, my name is Armando Esparza.
Hi, my name is Jacqueline Aguilar.